This is Charlie Mike, the podcast. Veterans helping veterans, talking about things happening in the veteran community, things we've experienced and overcome, such as addictions, PTSD, depression, legal trouble, and we also promote veteran-owned businesses. If you're talking about it, we're talking about it. This is Charlie Mike, the podcast.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Charlie Mike podcast. As always, I'm your host, Raul, and your co-host is William.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Pearland Podcast Studio. Man, it feels good to be here, brother.
It does, man. We're blessed to be in the situation where we're at, and we get to do this all the time.
Yeah, I know. The holidays are here,
It's
bro.
crazy.
It's so
It's
much
crazy.
fun, man.
It's crazy, man. What you got planned? What's been going on in your life?
Man, for the holidays, I don't have a whole lot planned. I know the kids go to school till like the 20th, and then which is a Wednesday. And then
Yeah.
they get out, and then it's
Do they?
yeah, bro. They get out on a Wednesday, and then Christmas is like that Monday.
Oh, man, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It falls on a Monday? Monday. Oh, man, that's crazy. Yeah, what you been doing, man? I know we just got done with a class. How's your whole lunch and learn thing going?
It's been good. So I host a monthly lunch and learn. It's on a rotational basis. It's been a lot of fun. We've been doing it at the Pearland Chamber. We had like 13, 14 people there today. I provided lunch, enticed people to come over.
Nice.
And I teach a tool, which was a lot of fun. Like how do we actually intentionally grow our businesses, get better at leadership, develop ourselves, and how do we use this tool to help others as well. So it's been fun.
Yeah, man, it is fun, and I actually learn. I
know,
get
it's
to
so fun.
participate and learn. And plus, he provides food, man.
That's the best part.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is.
Bring pie.
And my wife's been making cookies, so I didn't bring
Nice.
any back because the kids are eat them all today.
Definitely, man. So we've been itching to get our next guest on.
I know
we've all been busy, and he's been busy taking on a lot of stuff. Actually. Yeah, man.
New business, a lot of work, staying hard at it, to be able to support what I do,
Yeah.
Being able to support myself is pretty big.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about everything, man. Okay, first off, you want an intro?
No, I don't. But if you don't know who this man is, his man is Augie Reyes, and we met at the Skeleton Cruise Gala.
That's correct.
Yeah. And then not too long after that, he came visit the studio with your brother-in-law.
Yeah, I brought my brother with me,
Yeah,
and
that was a good
we
time.
came and kind of just talk shop with you guys, hung out for a little while. It was pretty good.
Yeah, and Raul and I, you've been big on our radar, really, to be like, we really want to get him on. But summer was busy for not only for you, but for us too. And so now it's time to really dig into it.
Yeah, this summer I keep calling it the total. Thank you for having me. I keep calling it the total bummer summer. It was so hot, and I've taken on a little AC business that I've been running since full time since April.
What's the name of that business?
That is Airwise.
Yeah.
Been in the Houston area for about 70 years, and my partner, who's like the second generation of Airwise, he's been in the business like 40 years, and he's ready to retire, and unfortunately didn't have any kids or anything to pass the business on to. So he basically went on a hunt to find somebody to take over the business and run it and kind of, it's his legacy. So I was like the fifth guy that he tried to do this with.
Wow.
And it has just really flourished and done well. And we're really, really proud to tell everybody that we're doing good and everything's going the way we want to. So
Man, congratulations. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely. Congratulations.
definitely. So, just keeping myself busy with multiple things.
Yeah, imagine. I know. It was like, you were like, this is it. This is the busy time. I'm not going to be able to come back.
Yeah, it's been crazy for us too, man. But let's start a little bit, man. Tell us from the beginning who you are, where you're from, what you're doing, how you got to that point. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Augustine Reyes, but everybody calls me Augie. That's what I kind of grew up being called. I grew up in the east side of Houston, the hardworking east side, Denver Harbor. I went to school in Galena Park. My mom was a teacher there, so anywhere in the east side, I pretty much grew up in the whole place. It's like that was my village, so to speak. Joined the Marine Corps right out of high school, about 17 years old. Did my 4 years and came home and had to take some time to find myself, so to speak. You know, you're in your young, early 20s, not sure what you're doing in life. And I mean, did everything from real estate to, I think about 2008, I decided to just kind of walk away from everything. And I went to a friend of mine who worked at a temp agency. And I became a day laborer for like a year, working in plants, working in steel mills. And I really enjoyed it. Like it was like a really like pure time in my life because my hands were dirty, but the money was honest. You know, kind of one of those kind of things.
Hell yeah.
You know, so I really enjoyed that. But in the whole time, I had been involved with shooting and the shooting community and stuff like that. It was hard to find work when I first got out of the Marine Corps. And I ran into a buddy of mine. His name's Tony Ashcraft. And back then, he was running the gun center of Pearland, which is now Black Rifle Company, LLC here in Pearland. And he gave me a shot. He said, hey, come and let's see if you can, you know, help me do some work around the shop and do things like that. And he kind of got me involved in, you know, like the shooting community and the gun community and all that, you know, Pro 2A kind of stuff. And you know, I was talking to him on the way here, you know.
Yeah.
We still kind of chop it up together, and, you know, we kind of go full circle where people come to King's Armory and get some training, and then when they're ready to purchase, I say, here, you call Tony at Black Rifle, and he'll let him know you're one of my shooters, and you'll get the group discount. You know, we're big on the Groupon.
Yeah, we actually, he reached out to us, man, a while back, and we wanted to get him on the show, but it kind of didn't go with what we were, what the flow is.
I gotcha.
And it was nothing personal. It's just, you know how it goes.
No,
man.
no, absolutely. It's got to flow.
What did you do in the Marines?
In the Marine Corps, I was an engineer. I was 1345 heavy equipment operator. Loaded and unloaded a whole lot of Mews over there at Lot 4F in San Diego. And, you know, got to play around on some ships and stuff like that. And, you know, just really enjoyed the experience, you know. But I kind of got homesick.
Yeah.
So when it was time to come home, I said, I'm going to go home. You know, so no regrets, but, you know, you always miss the community, right? You miss your bros, you miss the bond. So I've always kind of missed that. But I've just done a lot in the meantime to kind of make up for that. Spend a lot of time in the veteran community. You know, I still cook on steak night at our Legion post, 654 right there in Spring Branch.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, before I went hunting last weekend, I cooked there till 8, ran home, grabbed my gear, and was driving to South Texas by 9 o'clock. And by 6:30, I had 2 deer down and was like, okay, my hunting season's over with. I guess just turn around and go back home.
Yeah, y'all got some big hitters in that American Legion, right?
Oh,
in the veteran community.
Yeah, you got Hector over there.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a lot of influence in the community.
Yeah.
Does
Hector's
a lot.
the man, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, being around that kind of leadership, you know, really, really helps me, you know, feel good about what I do and what I've done. But at the same time, helped me recognize what I was missing. Like, I was always a giver, right?
Yeah.
And I never asked for anything. And he sat me down one day and said, you need to let us help you. You don't realize you need help. And he just put me with other veterans that kind of showed me that I needed to take care of my own mental health and physical health a little better.
Yeah, man, number one.
That was, life-changing stuff right there.
I believe it. I think that's one thing about veterans too, man, is we try to help everybody else before we help ourselves.
Yeah, we're used to sacrificing.
Hey, we need to do it the other way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's rough. Yeah.
Yeah. So I when we met, I did hear that you were really involved with the VFW at the time, that you were representing, and your wife too.
The
correct?
Legion.
The
Yeah,
Legion, right?
the Legion.
Okay.
American Legion.
How did you guys first get involved with them?
I went to a steak night.
Yeah.
Because Hector had been involved with Lone Star veterans.
Yeah.
So some of the guys that got out before me that were going to U of H downtown, they were in the Lone Star veterans. So by proxy, I kind of was linked to them a little bit. And when I realized that Hector had become the commander of our post, which was right around the corner. I mean, I could walk there, right? So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go show some support. You know, buy a steak, hang out a little bit, and I just really liked the environment and realized it was right by my house. And, you know, I can go have a couple of cold ones, and if I have to, I can walk home. Okay, this is just works in so many different ways. So, you know, I just started going to steak night. And they sat down one day and said, hey, are you a member? And I was like, yeah, I'm a veteran. And they're like, no, but you're a member.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what do you mean? So they explained it to me. They kind of laid the game out for me. And I said, okay, let's do it. I want to help more.
That's cool, man.
And it kind of all grew from there. And that's how I got involved with Skeleton Crew, because he had no idea. So I fly planes, I sail boats, I do all kinds of fun stuff.
I see that.
I take a couple flying lessons, and though I was really cool at first, but it's so expensive, right? And I'm not a millionaire yet. I'm trying. I'm working. But I couldn't afford to do this and include my family. So that right there was just kind of a kills the game for me.
Yeah.
So I decided I wanted to learn how to sail a boat. I had never mentioned this to anybody other than my wife. I'm getting ready for work. It's 5 a.m. Hector sends me a message. Hey, bro, you want to go sail boats with veterans this weekend?
Wow.
And I'm like, what the heck? Bro, yes, that's exactly what I want to do this weekend. So I went and I sailed with them a couple of times. And you meet other veterans, they own sailboats and stuff like that. And I got to sail with them. And that is more something I can do with my family, whether I take my kids and teach them to sail or get them certifications. That's affordable for me. You know, I can afford to do that. Flying planes, if I want my little girl to fly a plane for me, it's just cost me like $13,000, $14,000 just for her to get her license.
Yeah.
Sailing, no.
Not
You
so
know,
much.
somewhere around $2,000, I can get the whole family certified to be on a sailboat.
Mm-hmm.
So I started leaning more towards sailing and spending more time with those guys because, one, it helped me. I got to be around other vets and kind of, you know, it's almost like when you do a fellowship, right? But instead, it's just Marines on a boat, and you're sharing those stories and working through those things together.
Which is weird because Marines don't like boats.
No, for some
Navy,
reason on
bro.
sailboats,
Yeah,
for some reason you put us on a sailboat, you know. And I never would have thought, right? Because it was like cigarette boats, fast boats, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Sailboats are just cool, you know. You're out there, you're coasting, you know.
Yeah.
You know, just it's just cool, making that machine work the way it does.
We see. I think we linked up to Mark from your association,
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken. And that's a hell of a guy right there, bro.
I took him hunting with me last
Oh,
weekend.
did you?
He was
Oh,
with
did
me,
you?
yeah.
Oh,
Mark
man.
Vidal.
Did
Yeah.
he cook it up
Vidal,
too?
yeah. Huh?
Did he cook it up too? Because he was a chef.
Well, you know, he helped me because he knew that I had to go cook at the Legion and then get the heck out. So we had one hell of a process last Friday. We were just cranking it out.
Dang.
And as soon as it was time to go, I was like, Hector, I'm out of here, bro.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. Yeah, we're big fans of Mark over here, man. I like following that dude.
No, he's a good dude,
He's
man.
always doing something, bro.
Yeah,
and that's crazy.
He's always busy, and you know he's been working, you know, a lot, dealing with some stuff. And I said, come on, let's go hunting. So we've been having some fun weekends. I took him off roading a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, just he's a solid dude. He's a solid dude.
We're a fan, man. We follow him, and he's a good dude. We had him on the podcast, man. We chatted, man. It was almost 2 hours, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we chatted up, and it didn't feel like it was 2 hours. It went by so fast, man.
The dude has definitely been around the world.
Yeah, yeah,
Sailing will do it to you, apparently.
yeah, man. Jealous. Oh, literally around the world.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
So tell us, I mean, because we heard it from him, but tell us what does sailing do for you?
You know, it's a good mental reset for me. You know, I get out on the water with those guys, and you know, my phones don't work, which means there's no distractions.
I think I like that
You know,
already.
And what we find is with the outdoor activities, like they want to do a big trip. I've done Moab and Colorado and all that off-roading. I'm a big off-roader. And they want to do a trip. And sometimes even my wife's kind of like, we always want to go play in the woods, go play in the dirt. I'm like, it's the disconnect. It's all, the electronic leash is gone, you know? And when you do that, you're able to focus on just the time, the people, the place, you to just take it all in. It's like stop and smell the flowers, right? It allows you to stop and smell the flowers and go, and then after that, you feel better. It just makes you feel better afterwards.
That's badass. I definitely got to get out there and give it a shot, man.
Oh yeah,
I think I need to.
Yeah. Now that Mark's back, we gotta hit him up.
Yeah, we will.
We're gonna do a Charlie Mike special at sea.
We do a podcast
100%.
out there.
Yeah. So tell us. You mentioned King's Armory. Where did that come from?
So King's Armory started. That's kind of what got me here, right? King's Armory. We are a training group. All right. And it started in 2012. I didn't like what I was seeing in the shooting community. You didn't have all these gun tubers like you have now. And what I was seeing and what was happening was a lot of good Samaritans and like innocent bystanders were either getting shot or losing the fight. They were undergunned, undereducated, undertrained, but the state of Texas allowed everybody to get an LTC. And the training requirements were minimal at best.
Yeah.
So I was just, just tired of seeing that. And my wife, who's like one of my biggest influencers, is kind of like, do something, bro. Stop running your mouth and do something. And I'm just like, what should I do? And I had taught private before. And like I said, being involved with the shooting community, I had shot USPA, IDPA, I had done personal protection work, private security work. I had been in all facets of handling firearms and self-defense and stuff like that. And she goes, take that knowledge and do something with it. So I got a hold of a range where I knew the owner on the east side. It was a Van Road range. And I said, hey, look, if I do a little shooting class, will you let me use your range? And he goes, yeah, everybody uses it. We got shooting teams or whatever. Just schedule it and pay your range fee. So I sat down and I put together a very basic pistol class. And it was basically a free class. You just you brought your ammo and you paid your range fee, which was typically like $20, $25 at that range. And my first class had about 10 shooters. And everybody was really happy. They really enjoyed the knowledge they got. They really enjoyed just being on the range without intimidation, because this wasn't meant to be like some type of high-speed shooting class. This was, let's give you a good, solid foundation so that me and you don't have to worry about this person that's carrying a gun hurting one of our family members, hurting themselves. Back around that time, we had a guy, memorial shooter. He was an Army veteran, PTSD, and he just got out of his truck in the middle of Memorial with an AR-15. The Good Samaritan jumps out with a little LC-380. No body armor, no nothing. Unfortunately, for lack of better words, he got smoked. And the only reason he lived is because a Boy Scout ran out of his house, put a tourniquet on his leg, and dragged him inside and waited for 911.
Dang, that's real. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
That's what saved him. Little Boy Scout ran out there, put a tourniquet on him, and drug him inside.
That's dope that he knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a couple of weeks before that, another gentleman, they were at dinner. He had his gun in his pocket. He was digging for change. Gun went off and shot the kid in the booth across from him. So with all that on my mind, and all the other stuff we worry about as veterans, I was like, I gotta, we're doers, right? I gotta do something about this. So I started putting these classes together. And after a couple of basic pistol classes, we would have from 10 sometimes to like 22, 23 people show up. And the people were asking, how do you do this? And I said, what do you mean, how do you do it? They said, bro, we're only paying range fees. You're providing targets, ear protection, eye protection. If you didn't have a gun and you said, hey, Augie, I want to come to your class, just bring some ammo. Here's a gun. We'll teach you how to use it. I mean, that's one of the big things we do is we get a lot of like nurses, teachers, stuff like that want to learn to shoot. But they're like, oh, my boyfriend said to buy this Colt 1911 full size and I can stick it in my purse. And they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Your boyfriend is probably 50 years old, and a very smart, handsome guy. But let's get you over here and wrap your hands around a couple of different things and let you try them before you go and spend, $1,000 on something that doesn't even fit in your purse.
That's crazy.
So those groups were just kind of like, well, what can we do to help you? So then at the end of the class, sometimes they would like pass a hat around and give me a couple extra bucks to buy more targets and more stuff like that. And that was kind of the foundation of King's Armory, because that same group of people, I noticed 4 or 5 classes deep. And one of the ladies, her name's Gina Rodriguez, and she's been here since the beginning. Sometimes she's a nurse. Sometimes she'd come and give me $200 or $300 and say, hey, babe, go buy yourself some nice dinner. We all appreciate you.
That's what's up.
Buy some more supplies, whatever. People like that were just motivated the crap out of me. She's now a sergeant in the Army. She just got motivated and joined the Army Reserves, and she just got promoted to sergeant. So good job, Gina. We're happy for you. So
Gina,
like,
good job.
Yeah. So, we're just really happy to have people like that.
It's funny because what I hear is you're just trying to find a way to continue to serve. Like you have a clear passion for supporting others, especially when it comes to firearms, and you have a clear knowledge too. Like a lot of veterans are that way. Like I don't want to turn this into a profit. I just want to help others.
Yeah.
And then everyone else is like, "No, man, you're a business, bro."
Well, see,
Same thing.
Here's the thing, though, right? Like that's been our whole mission is to. I mean, I don't know if there's a 501c3 for gun clubs, but technically we're it, right? Because, I mean, if you come out to the range we're at now, we're at a 200-acre facility with 50 different ranges. Yes, we still do that basic pistol. It is a little more now. It's $75 a person, but that's still that range fee. That's still an 8-hour day on the range. I mean, if you go to anywhere in town, it's $20 an hour just to be on the range.
Yeah.
Okay.
$20, that's cheap.
Yeah. So for $75 is what we typically charge for that basic pistol now, but you're still getting 8 hours on the range. And instead of sharing a range with other people, no, we own our own range for the day, which is typically it's called a combo range, 35 yards by 35 yards, 14-foot berms all the way around. We get our targets set up. Like I said, we provide firearms if you don't have them. And we do everything from basic pistol to now we'll put you in a Range Rover and fill that thing full of smoke and say, okay, fight your way out of the situation. Now, we don't start you there. But we'll get you there.
We have the capability to
Yeah,
put
we
you
can
there.
do it.
We'll get you there.
Yeah.
And even that, okay, if you went to a range and said, hey, I want to get smoked out in a Range Rover and gunfight for $125 a day, they're going to laugh at you in the face and get the hell out of here.
Thousands.
Nobody does that.
Yeah.
Bullshit. I do.
Yeah. You looking at paying thousands, man.
Yeah.
And I said that was cheap because, I mean, the ranges that we go to, man, it ain't no $20 an hour. It's higher than that. So that's a steal of a deal right there.
If I can, I want to give just kind of a shout out to Lee John Bentley, who is the owner of the Brazos River Sportsman's Club, because somehow somebody connected me and him, and he said, come out and check out my range. And I went out and checked out his range, and I had like 5 guys, kind of a former operator kind of dudes who wanted me to do kind of a basic class for them and some friends. And so I put together a little rifle class for them and some drills and stuff that we did. And I just really liked it. It is an outdoor range because we need that for what we do, but good tree canopy right on the Brazos River. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so Texas out there and beautiful. And at the same time, we can go out there and put in some work and bring the controlled chaos into a safe environment. And that makes it fun for the shooters, makes it fun for me. It's just really involved into something much bigger than I ever thought it would. I had a basic pistol, and those same core group came to me and said, hey, we really, really like your pistol class. Could you put together a rifle class? And I said, guys, that's kind of outside of what I do, but I can try. And they're like, great, we'll be your test dummies. Let's put it together. So I started putting it together, and I mean, it's evolved into some pretty cool stuff where now I get guys that are like real operators, Navy SEALs and government contractors that'll call me and be like, hey, bro, want to put together a little range for us? And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. Because they know that we can do that on our range, and we have that kind of flexibility at our facility.
Let me tell you one thing, man. I love what you're doing right off the back because I truly believe that everyone should carry. I believe that everyone should carry, but should be trained to carry, especially women.
100%.
I think I preach that to everybody. I preach it to my sisters. I preach it to everyone. Everyone. Train yourself, get trained, carry. Man, it's a crazy world we live in, bro.
The problem, what I try to tell people, even people who think that, I don't want to carry or this and that, you got to have that force multiplier, right? My little girl's been shooting with me since she was little, but she's been training me, since she was like 12, right?
Yo, she's a badass, bro.
Now she's a mover and shooter. I mean, hey, when the guys are out there, we have one of our guys that trains with us. He's one of our instructors, Tony Cadena. He's also a fitness instructor and a bodybuilder, and he trains her. And she's gotten into that point in her life where physical fitness is really important to her. So they're swomies, so to speak, swole homies. So, and he helps her, stay in shape. But he and I both, when she got out on the range and wanted to we're doing some advanced training. We were in the Rover. The kind of the concept is the car's broke. You got to fight yourself out of the situation and get to safety. And she's got a little SBR M4 that I put together, a Mark 18 M4 kind of style gun that I put together for her. And she's like, the first one, I want to go. And she handed him like the biggest can of smoke that we can have, right? And she's like, Tony, let's do it. And he's like, okay, little girl, get in there. And poof. And if you see the video, she falls out of that truck coughing and choking. But she fought until she had no more ammo left in her rifle.
Man.
And she's like,
hey, if you want, we can share that video. We can put a little skip-it in this podcast.
Put that video in there. Okay, contact right. Contact right. Contact left. Time out. All right, time out. Man out. Man down. Water. Yeah. Water. Watch out. Woo! Woo! There you go, Charlie. Yeah. How'd you do? Is it unsafe? Safe? Tell us about it.
It got in my eye. And it burnt my eye.
I don't think that's all that got it. She's just a tough cookie, and she's in ROTC now, and that kind of scares me a little bit because she's a little wilder than I am. So I feel sorry for the world for whatever she ends up doing, because it's going to be pretty badass to watch.
What have you seen? What have you noticed the difference since training your daughter? That not so much in her skills, but in like in her personality.
She's accepted that she is, I know this term gets used a lot, but she's accepted that she is a sheepdog. Yeah. She understands that. My opposites attract. And I'm kind of very center-minded. My wife is kind of more liberal, like nobody should carry a gun. We should all live happy fairyland. And my little girl's okay with that. But at the same time, she's like, don't worry, I'll take care of mom.
Yeah. Man.
And
that's dope.
Yeah, there were some, for lack of better words, there were some kooky characters in the neighborhood a couple weeks ago, doing some things. And I was like, look, I'm going hunting. I go do my thing. And she's like, you just put that swamp donkey shotgun right next to mama's bed and we'll be okay. That's her nickname for my shotgun. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, I'll leave the big swamp dog, because we don't have any babies in the house. Yeah. So not that guns are unattended or not safely stored, but you know, we're definitely at the point where if there are no babies in the house, it's okay to have the old shoddy next to the bed, right?
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
So she told me, she said, you put that old swamp donkey next to the bed. Don't worry about nothing.
Yeah.
I said, okay, baby girl, you got it. And
Kids are funny, man.
she's ready. She's ready to handle business. And I think being able to accept that person in your mind, you know, because I've done my best to educate my kids. My son's, he'll be home this weekend. He's at the University of Oregon. You know, he's studying environmental science. He wants to save the world, and I'm totally cool with that. And, you know, Charlotte has kind of been given those same opportunities. She speaks multiple languages. She goes to a international school, a school for international studies. So, you know, we have a lot of fun, but there's a lot of work back there that people don't see. And having that child that's enlightened and willing to accept that we are a family of servants, we are a family of protectors, whether we're serving our country or feeding old people in our community or taking care of other veterans. She has accepted that that is part of our family legacy. And that, to me, is just, it puts me over the moon. You know, it helps me get up in the morning and motivate me.
Bravo, man. Bravo. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I want to ask you, I want to pick your brain a little bit.
Yeah,
I want to ask you a couple of questions that are probably on the, I don't know, let's say. You hear a lot on the news.
Yep.
Well, I don't watch the news anymore, but I know when I did at the time, you would hear a lot about unattended guns. And let's say the kid gets the gun and shoots someone, but unintentionally.
Right.
How do you feel that situation should be handled as far as responsibility?
You know, I tell people, you're responsible for every bullet that comes out of that gun, okay? And part of when I'm training people, I tell people, at the end of my hallway is Charlotte's bedroom. I can't afford to miss. I'm responsible for whatever that thing does. If I leave a gun in an unsafe condition, meaning loaded and ready to go, where a child can get to it and hurt themselves or somebody else, I am 100% responsible for that. Okay, when I know that it's right now, it's holiday time, we're gonna have little kids over and stuff like that, I double check to make sure everything's locked up. That's not in my direct control or custody, right? So if I'm not carrying it, okay, it's locked up. And there's different means of locking it up. You know, we have a regular safe in the house that's locked up, and then we have one safe that's RFID. Yeah. So if there's ever an emergency, there's no numbers, there's no nothing. I take my wallet, or my wife takes her wallet, beep, 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 and it opens up. It's time to go to work. But can a little kid walk up and open that? No. Yeah. Can they get in my safe? No. If you're gonna own a gun, you can buy they got the one with a thumbprint now. Mm-hmm. You can buy that at Academy for less than $200. You know, if your kid and your family's safety, you know, you can't afford $200, then maybe you should reconsider buying a gun first.
Bravo.
You know, you got to be able to lock it up.
I think it's the mindset shift too, bro. I mean, you know, for us, especially as gun owners, we're very cautious about what happens, and you know, we have that military background where it's like, this is my rifle, this is my gun. You know, like, I'm responsible for it, and I'm completely that. And so that, I think a lot of that carries over for us, but that same mindset isn't for everybody.
Yeah,
it should be.
The negligence is what pisses me off, man. I see something, and you know, we've always been trained muzzle awareness. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just, you know, like I have older kids, so you know, my kids know, right? You know, don't mess with it. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't leave it around. You know what I mean? Anywhere. Right. But it's just, you know, the way I always look at it, like if somebody has access to your gun and they hurt someone else, especially kids, there's no reason, you know, you should be responsible 100%. And they should put your ass in jail, and you should learn your damn lesson. You know what I mean? There was this one, I was watching this, you remember, what is it? It was a show, it's like Cops, but they had it on Friday and Saturday nights. But it was live.
Live PD or whatever.
Live PD, damn, bro. Yes. Yeah, so Live PD. There was this one I was watching, no bullshit, bro. There was a baby in a fucking diaper carrying a gun. Mm-hmm. Like a real gun, loaded, bro. Around. He was walking up and down the apartment complex, and somebody had caught him on the Ring camera. We're going to show that video, too.
Wow. Well, the other thing too is the stigma behind guns. If you make guns taboo, I mean, we know how kids are, right? Don't touch that.
Yeah.
Stay away from this. Don't do this. All of us, I mean, at least me, okay? I'm a product of the 80s and 90s, and I would be like, you think Mom will notice if one of those Benson and Hedges is missing? Hell no. She's been drinking all night. I'm going to go smoke me a cigarette, sneak one out and run by the house and try to smoke. Because it was taboo. It's like, don't do that, right? Yeah. Same thing with guns. If you teach them the responsibility, even if you want them to get the effect of what's going to happen, take them out to, Popo's Ranch or whatever and shoot a watermelon. Watch them see that thing explode and be like, okay, mija, imagine what that will do to your head. They'll get it at even 6 or 7 years old, like, ooh, but the taboo will be gone and they will understand that what comes out the front of that thing can be very dangerous. Because they see you with a hammer and a drill and they know not to hit somebody with a hammer.
And we just talked
they
about
know it's not to drill somebody with the drill. Because they see it. It's not taboo. It's, whoa, don't touch that saw. Yeah. Don't touch that stove. It's hot. Some of us still touch the damn stove. But when you show them, and it helps build a bond, right? Because now you're showing, I trust you enough to show you this. It builds that parent bond with, okay, they may open up to other things because now they trust you on another level.
I think it's time for a Charlie Mike family trip.
Boom. Oh, to the range?
Yeah.
Man, I got somebody I want to take. Oh, I got a couple people I want to take out there, man.
We can have a day. We can have a day,
You know. Yeah, no, I know you've mentioned that before. The hard part for us is our snow cone businesses on the weekends.
Bring it with you. We'll set that at the range.
Man, I heard that.
On a hot day,
I heard that.
Fresh raspas on range 7. Fresh raspas on range 7.
I got a trailer, bro. We'll go pack it in, bro.
What's your next excuse? He's got all the answers.
Hell yeah.
No, I think that's powerful, and I love what you said. Just being able to expose the kids to that, because for me, my wife and I talked about it today. Like, if I can't get upset at my kids for doing something wrong. At the end of the day, it's like, what did I do? Maybe I didn't show you how to actually cook breakfast or clean your room properly. I didn't set the standard for you. It's the same thing. If we don't expose people to guns or just to the world, like,
right?
When they're going to experience it one way or another, you can't protect them forever. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just it's one of those things you have to teach them. They have to understand the respect. My daughter has a friend that shoots with us now, another ROTC kid. And she's like, his dad was, what does he need to do before he comes out to the range? And I sent him the list of the 5 basic safety rules. I said, just memorize that. If he memorizes that, won't have any problems on the range. Yeah. I'll teach him everything. Man, that kid he's been to about 3 classes now. Bro.
Pick it up.
He is surgical already.
Oh,
yes.
He's surgical to the point to where we're doing working around the outside of a vehicle, and he secured his rifle and drew with the other hand and just one hand, boom, 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 and it came natural. And I was like, I'm proud, Dad.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a little intimidated now.
Yeah.
But it sounds like a lot of fun.
His dad sends me a text message. He's like, bro, you couldn't get that shit on video.
Oh, man. That sounds amazing, man.
So,
that's something that we definitely
watching the evolution of the timid little skinny kid becoming this little warrior.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool to see. I like the fact that I know that I'm helping produce. Then I'm gonna say this real quick. The people who think that there's not a generation that's ready to do the right thing and defend our country, kiss my ass. I'm watching them. Yeah. I'm helping. I'm doing my part to help make them. I'm exposing them to good, positive veteran influences, and they are there. Okay, it's 3% for a reason, because not every kid's gonna do it. Not every kid you see on TikTok's doing it. Not every kid on Facebook's doing it. But trust me, those good kids that are ready to step up, they're out there. Yeah. And if you don't go and seek them as a community, and we prepare them for what's next in life, then shame on us.
Man,
I mean, back to the class that we talked about today is like, what can I own? right? If I can just own that 1%, even though I know it's not all my fault.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like you said, I'm also responsible for raising those kids.
Yeah.
You know, we have a part in raising that
Oh,
next
yeah.
generation. Everyone's saying, "Oh, they're the problem." Nah, man, I was a problem. I didn't do my job as a parent raising them. If my kids are the problem, like it's not them, it's me. And the same thing, like parents, come on, man, we know how you guys are.
Yeah.
Don't be soft on your kids.
You can't shelter them forever.
Yeah.
You can. And I didn't want to do that because, I have a little girl. So the last thing that I didn't want her to know is that there are just bad people out there that, want to do bad shit to little girls.
Yeah.
There's predators everywhere. So I was just straight up about it with her whole life. As soon as she could understand that there's bad people out there, I told her, hey, you be ready. I'm not going to be here forever. You need to be able to protect yourself.
That's the way it's got to be, man. There's so many messed up people in this world, man. It's insane, especially that the predators look at women as unfortunately like
Easy
the
target.
targets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially there's a lot of people that they walk out of store, they walk out of this, and it's things that I've seen too.
Oblivious.
Exactly. I'm in the phone. Or I seen people at the bank, withdraw $10,000 and just walk out with it in their hand, things like that. You know what I mean? It's just, sometimes you just got to.
What bank is that?
Oh, my bank. I'm not telling people where I have my money. But yeah, man, it's crazy.
Absolutely. But, King's Armory has done a lot to take it from that basic thing all the way up to, like I said, we're at the point where people want to have a kind of more high speed, more intense classes, and we're able to build you up for that. We don't just throw the individual right into that right away. We work them there, but it's what we love to do, and we love to see that progression. We would love to see that young kid that came to us for a basic pistol, who's now just naturally becoming proficient with everything that's available to him.
That's badass.
That's powerful stuff, man. I want to look up Renaissance Man, because that's the only thing I can think of right now when I hear you guys talking. Just because it's like, for me, veterans, we can be that resurgence of what a male figure is.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? And
my wife calls it the Reyes Renaissance. We're born again.
So tell us the name. Where did the name come from, man?
It came from my name, Reyes. Mm-hmm. So. We didn't want to call it Reyes Armory because a lot of people that aren't Hispanic wouldn't understand it. So we decided to call it King's Armory. And it just worked really well. My wife, she really supports me a lot. She gives me a lot of she's the one that said, well, get off your ass and do something. And she's done, if you've ever seen our logo, like on the hats and stuff, mm-hmm. that's all her. She put it all together. And don't get me wrong. Yes, she is, a very passive, kind of liberal lady, and thinks that, nobody should need guns. At the other hand, that doesn't mean she hasn't trained and learned for herself, so that at least when people ask her, about this argument, she can say, no, I shoot, I train, I just choose not to carry.
Right. It's not for everyone.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But she has no problem with learning that role of, one of the classes we teach is just for that. I have lots of friends that are just very hardcore Christians, and the wife's like, I'm not going to take a life. Well, I said, great. We have a class for you, and we call it Protecting the Principle. And what it is it's a whole shooting segment on what the non-shooter needs to do, how to stay out of the way, how to communicate as a family, because if dad has to use his firearm, the first thing, here's what happened. Me and my wife were dating, and I went to draw my gun, and the first thing she did is she grabbed my arm because she was scared. And I couldn't get my gun out of the holster.
Oh, man.
And the dude's like, so I had to throw her on the ground. And by then, the dude freaked out because he knew that I knew what was up. He ran the other way. So if there's a plan on, we use a lot of audibles when we teach, right? Same audibles that police officers and firefighters use, or police officers and people in law enforcement use. And the reason we teach those audibles is because if I'm in Denny's and I'm in plain clothes and I stand up and there's a guy coming in with a gun and I just say, oh, fuck, get down, whatever. If there's cops in there, they're going to see me pointing a gun and they're going to draw their guns at me.
Right.
But if we teach audibles like threat, gun, those are audibles that they're taught to recognize. So their training is going to tell them he's a good guy. And instead they're going to point their gun at whatever the threat is that I'm pointing my gun at. So audibles are just one thing we teach. So when I'm training my family, if I'm drawing my gun, I go gun, 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 gun. My daughter and my wife know to get away, get behind me, get to cover, because I'm getting to a point where I might have to put in some work. So we have a class for the non-shooter. It's, what do I do? Hey, if it's me, you, and the 2 kids, and I go gun, 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 you grab the kids and get them away while I go to work. Because if you just freak out and start screaming, one, you're drawing the attention to me, and they're going to, if a bad guy sees me with a gun and he's got a gun, he's going to do what he has to do, regardless of who's to my left or my right. So when you teach a class and everybody has a plan on what to do when I have to use my gun, that gives that just having a plan is half the fight. It gives that non-shooter an idea of what they need to do so that you can protect them and they don't get hurt.
Yeah. It's using the same language, It's using language that we all understand, that we, like you said, having the plan in place.
Yes.
Because that situation is going to come up whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And better to be planned than unprepared.
Anywhere nowadays, man.
Oh, yeah.
I did look it up. A Renaissance man is a cultured man of Renaissance who was knowledgeable, educated, or proficient in the wide range of fields. And personally, I feel like we've been digging more and more into what veterans are and who. I feel like this is just another way for us to describe us, because as veterans, we all have the mindset already for discipline and persistence. It's when we transition now, it's like finding that new goal. And obviously you're very passionate about it, helping others,
I love it.
and staying connected to the community. I'm curious to change the subject just a little bit. How was that transition out, and how do you find that next mission? Was it just something that you discovered? Was it like, I've got to find something to do my time with? Or
The biggest problem with the hardest part of the transition out for me was I expected people to care. Don't expect anything. Expect to find that next mission and look for support. But support wasn't looking for me. I had to go find it, right? So if you expect, I just got out the Marine Corps. I got an uncle that owns a huge construction company. He's just gotten some honor from the Hispanic Chamber for like $900 million of work done, right? So I thought in my head, I'm gonna go to work. I got a construction experience. I got heavy equipment experience. In my mind, I was thinking, I'll just go work for my uncle. He was like, I don't need you, bro.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, damn, what am I going to do? So, I had to go expecting people to just be there. I'm like, oh, you're a veteran. I'm going to kiss your ass and give you what you want. It's not going to happen, okay? You have to accept that reality. But also understand that we are here to help you.
There's a lot of us
and that's
here.
what it was not knowing where to get that help from. The stigma of the VA, I was so scared to go to the VA. I went once. I was there all day. I didn't even get an ID. I was like, fuck it, I'm never coming back. And I left.
Unfortunately.
I never went back.
Still to this day?
Hell no.
Oh, bro.
I know. And I finally started doing my packet online about 2 months ago.
Barely.
Barely.
I'm glad.
So I am doing it. I did, Hector was another one who wants to say, get off your ass and go do it.
He's going to keep bugging.
He's going to keep pushing you, bro.
Yeah. He did. He said, hey, get off your ass and go do it. You deserve that. You earned it. But the biggest problem is you can't expect when you come in and you're like, oh, nobody's helping me. Bro, they're not. Yeah. You have to
go get it.
You got to go get it. You got to go.
No, it's your transition. It's your life. You have to put the plan together.
But the great thing is we're a very kind of like a village-oriented, group-oriented group of people, right? So if you find one veteran that has some other veterans, like a school of fish, we're just going to absorb you. All right, we're going to help you.
Yeah,
but
that's a great point, because you may have to be in charge of it, but you don't have to do it alone.
You don't. But when you think, well, I served, I did my thing, I need to get this, and this. The whole world is going to be like, hey, bro, I know we got those ribbons on the tree and stickers on my car, but that don't mean I'm going to give you shit.
Yeah, that's all I got for you. That's all I got.
And it's heartbreaking because you're like, I mean, I was still a kid and I was a veteran. Like when I was 22 and I told people I just got out the Marine Corps, they're like, "Oh, how'd you get kicked out?" And I'm like, "Nah, bro. Like I already did my 4 years. Like I've done my time." And they're like, "Yeah, but what'd they kick you out for? You're way too young to be a veteran." And I'm like, because people think veteran, they're like an old guy with a cane and a hat that says Vietnam on it. Yeah. No, shit, no. 22 years old, that's a young vet that's put in some work, So, you have to get out and accept the fact that the whole world is not going to be there waiting for you to just, support you. It's the reason we end up with PTSD and, we drink and we smoke and we end up doing drugs sometimes and shit like that. It's because that reality hits you and you're like, oh, shit.
That was a Friday for me.
Yeah. And it hits hard, bro. And so, I have a little cousin that's in the Navy right now, and I talked to his dad this morning and said, hey, let me know when he gets home, because, I want to get him a little care package put together and things like that. But the big thing I'm going to do is I want his dad to understand when he comes home, we need to be ready because he's going to get that reality. And it's going to kick his ass.
It's hard, man.
And we need to be here to support him for that.
So share with us. Well, yeah, go further. Tell me more. How are you going to help set him up? Because I'm sure there's somebody out there that's active that's getting ready to come home.
Oh, hell yeah.
So share, like, how do you plan to really rope them up?
Drugs and strippers? No.
Hell yeah. What are we doing here?
He's in the Navy. He's in the Navy. We'll just keep it going. We're going to hit a limbo port and tear it up. No. The big thing is just be there when he gets home. Stop by, take him out to eat. Hey, what are your plans? What are you going to do? And watch his little starry eyes light up and be like, oh, I'm going to do all these wonderful things. And say, okay, let me give you a couple of little words of advice here. And give him my number and say, you call me anytime. Because when some of this shit doesn't work out, don't let it stop you from doing what you want to do. Don't quit. But you're going to need some help. We're going to be here to help you and support you. You're going to need one of those veterans weekends where we take you hunting or take you on a retreat or get you some fellowship with some other veterans because the reality is going to hit you. I'm not going to just sit there and overwhelm him with, be ready for negative shit. Just say, look, if the negative shit hits, we're here to help you. That's going to be kind of the number one thing is let them know. When reality hits and you think it's too tough, it's not that bad. We're here to help you.
And that offer never expires. Here's the thing, too. I mean, we just had, I think I've talked about this a little bit, but there was a guest on the show, and he was like, a year out, right? Mm-hmm. Well, now, that first year may have been a smooth transition, like smooth. Yeah. But after that first year, we hit into year two, like things change.
Yeah.
And now it's shifted. It's not that he's hitting a rough patch. It's just that he's got to shift. He's got to shift his priorities. Oh, yeah. He's got to shift the way he's doing things. And I'm like, it's the way it is with transitions, man. We're never done. We're never done.
You had a budget set up. I got this in the bank, and then I'm gonna get, I think I'm gonna get about 80%. So then, boom, I have that little bit coming in, and boom, and boom, boom, and then I met this girl, and oh shit, now I got a kid, and a year later, all of that's messed up, and now you're like, I can't make enough money to take care of me and my new wife and this kid.
Welcome to the club, brother.
Yeah.
Come on.
Now you're a veteran.
I got your back.
Come here, mijo. Let me show you how I got fat. You're not going to have time to work out. It's just time to work, period.
Yeah, man.
So you got to, just greet them with open arms and let them know. You're right. It does not expire. Just like, we tell people we took an oath and that oath doesn't expire. Well, you know what? You got that promise to your fellow veterans. And it doesn't expire either.
How often do you have your classes?
I try to do a class a month. Now, in between that, I do some privates. I had a group of people call me, a guy that I trained, and he goes, look, I got some friends coming in for the holidays. Can we secure a range and have some fun?
That's a heck of a holiday treat right
Hell
there.
Yeah. And I said, yeah. So, my wife's a little upset at me about it, but I got to shoot on the 22nd, 6 shooters. It's a private. And, she's like, why did you take a class right before Christmas? And I was like, Christmas is expensive.
Yeah, that's why. You want gifts?
I'm like, I'm a big fan of Christmas in January because that's when all my money shows up.
There you go,
So
man.
we try to do one a month. But like for instance, in the summertime, we know that nobody's probably going to show up. I mean,
It's hot.
It's hot. Yeah, this summer was a killer. We had 2 classes, and I had 3 instructors and 2 shooters some days. So
Yeah.
we just said, hey, let's make it a training day, and we'll train, and these guys will get to train with us, and they'll still get some knowledge, and they'll still be happy, and we'll just be ready for the next one. But sometimes, when the weather's right, early spring, we have a class, and 17, 18 shooters, and it's just run and gun all day long. I go home whooped.
Yeah, I know. I've been wanting to get my wife into it because I know you talk about you having all female shooters, and I was like, I definitely want to take her to
Yeah,
that.
the lady shoots, to be honest with you, the lady shoots are some of our most busy shoots. They turn it up, they show up, because we own the range for the day, right? So we can have a barbecue pit and drinks and pop-up
everything.
everything, right?
Yeah.
So man,
It's like a regular range day.
Man, yeah.
all of a sudden they're opening up their coolers and they got sandwiches and
Yeah.
snacks and sodas. The little nurses be pulling out IV bags just in case. Like, what the hell? Yeah, they roll deep. They don't play around.
That's what's up.
And they have fun. They're like the funnest group to teach too, because they don't have the bad habits.
Yeah.
They never played Cowboys and Indians. And
USA.
so the ladies run the range when it's ladies' day, and it's great because Charlotte will get out there and she helps teach now too. So they love the girl power.
That's
That's
badass,
awesome.
man.
So how can someone get in touch with you if they're interested in classes?
They can look us up on Facebook. We got King's Army. I don't know if you guys have the link. Y'all can share it.
Yeah, we can share it.
That's typically where we post most of our classes, and we take ideas. Like if somebody has an idea for a shoot and says, hey, we want to do, we want it to be all inside the house kind of based, how to work around my house or whatever, then we'll bring out some barricades and stuff and say, okay, let's use our fake couch here and our barricades and set up your living room and work through what are you going to do if you have to put in work at your house.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we can do. Or somebody might call and say, hey, or send us a message and say, hey, we have an idea. We saw this drill. Some gun tuber did it, and we want to do it in real life.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
We're doing let's say we got a carbine class coming up, and hey, they did this crazy drill. Can we try it? Then yeah, they can shoot us a message and say, okay, let's try to incorporate it into the next class. And you debunk a lot of shit like that, which is what I really like about it. Because they'll be like, I'm not going to say names, but they'll say like some gun tuber that I saw that, he has that dinosaur name, did it. And I explained to him, you realize he's like a multi-million-dollar dude, and he probably shot that 50 times before he got it right. Well, let's try it. Okay. And they'll try it and be like, damn, that shit don't work. Yeah, it don't work, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, the dinosaur man did it because he's got $1 million film crew to help him shoot that 50 times to get it right.
So we'll share the link for the King's Armory. How can they get with you if they need some AC work?
Oh, they can, just reach out to me on my cell, 832-494-0221. They can reach out to me on both. If I don't answer, please leave a voicemail. And if not, send a text message with the information. Because if I'm elbows deep with my crew doing work, I'm not touching the phone. It's safety first, and we got to focus on our job. Or if I'm on a range, just shoot me a text. We'll get it all lined up. And you don't have to wait for a class. That's the thing. If you got 5 shooters, I'll make a class for you.
Heard that.
So you don't have to wait for me to do it.
Class, bro.
Yeah, man. I got 5 off the top of my head.
happening.
Yeah,
It's happening.
five shooters. It's like typically I do like a $25 deposit, which gets counted, put toward your range fees and stuff. And once we got 5 shooters, you just pick a date
Sounds
that
like
works
a
best for
content
you.
day. we got the camera.
We'll get the cameras out there.
Absolutely.
So one of my last question is Charlie Mike means continue mission, right?
Yeah.
What does Charlie Mike mean to you?
Charlie Mike means to me is not just continue mission, but convey the message, right? Give us a place to get that information. You're sharing King's Armory and what we do. Continue to share what other people do so they can continue to help. Be that outlet to the world of the inside of what we do.
Bravo.
Power.
Chill.
Amazing, man. I wanna be the first to tell you, well, one of the ones to tell you, not the first, but I fucking love what you're doing, bro.
Thank you.
I really do,
Thank
man.
you.
Knowledge, teaching these people this trade and these tactics is something that it's hats off to you.
And that's the thing. It's not all about military tactics. It's about taking what we've learned collectively and putting it in a package that pertains to your individual needs as a civilian, or I have some police officers that come and train because they're with a small department that doesn't pay for training. Okay, then we can change that so that it works for you, because there's policies and things like that they have to understand that are different than for the individual.
That's amazing, dude. You guys, we want to say, man, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you.
As always, you guys, be sure to check out my man William on all his social media platforms at Mustache Wisdom. And check him out for his leadership courses as well. Yeah. Reach out to him at william@charliemikeleadership.com. What you got, brother?
Yeah, you got it. Hey, don't forget, I know it's the holidays, or we might be rounding them out end of the year. If you're struggling and you need help, the number is 988. If you're a military veteran, you can press 1. You're stronger than the problems that face you, man. I know it's difficult, but from all of us here at this team, and including Augie, like, we're all just examples of your potential. Like, we're untapped potential still. Just keep grinding, find your group, and once you find one of us, you'll find all of us.
100%.
Man, you guys, we appreciate it as always. And Charlie, Mike.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is me, Soldier Hard with Redcon One Music Group, and thank you for listening to Charlie Mike, the podcast. Yay!